Hey friends, so back in, I don't know, maybe March or so, when we kind of started the flower farming season, I made this video talking all about how my dahlia tubers were a disaster. It was entirely my own fault and I barely had anything left. So today I thought I have to do subscriber bouquets. Let's just talk a little bit about the dahlias, review what happened, and the happy ending to this story. So in 2022, I was pregnant with Julia, and it was a bit of a risky pregnancy. And of course, like anytime you're pregnant, you're tired, but I was tired and really needing to be extra careful to make sure that both of us were okay. And towards the end of the growing season, like I was just exhausted, and I had packed up all of the dahlias for the year, but unfortunately they just sat in my kitchen, and they mocked me at every turn. And I guess I don't know why I didn't just like get my husband to take them to cold storage, or my mom, or like literally anyone who came to visit the house probably would have done it. Wouldn't have even been like an issue, big deal, anything. But I don't know, somehow it just became an impossible task. And in March, I got brave and I opened the box, and as can be expected, most of my dahlia tubers were destroyed, which was really heartbreaking. But again, like it kind of was my own fault. So it was so bad that I probably had like a quarter of my stock left, and it was mostly the groovy tubers and a few brown sugar, and that was kind of it. So I was really upset. And not entirely sure where to go from there. I bought a few things, but I had kind of resolved myself to just not having a lot of dahlias, building up my tuber stock slowly again, and like, lesson learned. So once I made that YouTube video, a flower farmer reached out. She's from Humboldt, or she was just moving to Humboldt, where I grew up. And she said, you know what, she would have some extras, and if I wasn't fussy about colors or whatever, would I be interested? And I said, yes, I definitely would. I would take anything. I was super grateful. So Fields Edge Sask is her name, and she gave me about 20 cuttings / tubers to help increase my stock. So like that was a huge godsend. And because of that, I was able, with a few things I bought and a few things I already had, a few things that were in my mom's storage that I took, I was able to fill up at least half of my greenhouse. So that like felt good. And the story could have ended there, but it didn't. Morning, friends. So sorry about yesterday. It was a lot of rain. The day went on. I just didn't get back to it. So let's finish this story. So of course I'm done my bouquet subscriptions, but I've got some old chicken wire and I've got some very special flowers. So I think I'm gonna continue just making a fake bridal bouquet, as I like to call them. Even if I don't have a bride, sometimes I just like to practice. So let's get my stems ready. Anyway, as I was telling you in our story, I managed to get, half the greenhouse filled. And so that felt like a pretty good accomplishment and was very exciting. So this story could have just ended there, but it was spring. I had planted all the dahlias out. I had basically thought I was done planting. And Chantel from City Girl Flower Farm messages me and says, would you like some dahlias? Now friends, the only answer to that question is yes. Yes, I would like some dahlias. So what happened is Chantel had put in an order earlier in the year and then decided to cancel it and thought everything was good. And then a truck shows up at her house with the dahlias, drops them off, and she does not have room for these dahlias. And so for a while she thinks like maybe she'll just till up another row or whatever. And finally her husband kind of gives her an ultimatum, like, these dahlias just have to go. This is too much. And so she messages me. And I'm thinking like, oh, this will just be like, a couple of tubers, no big deal. No, it's like tons of tubers. It's essentially like a whole more 40-foot row full of tubers. So I am insanely grateful to Chantel at City Girl Flower Farm. And if you are in Saskatoon, you must check out her U-picks. They are the most beautiful. She has such a lovely property. She has a heart of gold if you're lucky enough to have one of the sessions with her. And she just runs a really lovely business. She also has buckets that she sells in her cart. And yeah, I just have to give her a shout out because I am so grateful. I feel like there's not much else I can do to repay her back. So anyway, that's what I'm arranging with is dahlias. Now, they might not be the most perfect dahlias or always like, you know, available at the time I would like them to be, but you know what? It's okay. So let us see what I have learned from the workshop I went to and what we can come up with for a potential bride. So, what do you think? So arranging in this style is actually quite new to me. I just recently took a class on how to make bouquets this way that's a little more light and airy and can have like the different levels and things. I'm still learning, right? So it's nice actually that I don't have a bride and that I can just practice and there's like no extra pressure. Depending how closely you were watching those clips of me arranging, I took a dahlia out that I finally figured out wasn't working. And I mean, that's a practice too sometimes, is not only to figure out what will work, but if something is kind of like killing the design. So I don't know, Janine, if you're watching, what do you think? Yeah, and then I guess the other thing too is finding that marriage of like, what is my style in this particular style of arranging? But it's fun. I love it. I'm gonna go take some pictures of it, and I also hope you enjoy this little story of my dahlias and the incredible generosity by both Fields Edge Sask and City Girl Flower Farm. And just thank you from the bottom of my heart, and I really hope that next year I will have an incredible field of dahlias. Still working on my soil, so not getting exactly the results I'm hoping for, but it'll come. It'll come. I have faith. All right, thanks friends. We'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.